they are a long way from done yet. But that 11-point lead is starting to look unassailable, despite the fact we're still only in February. 2-0 win here. City with double the number of shots, but managed to amass a total of XG of 0.63 from 16 shots, which tells us they were pretty low-quality chances that came their way. Liverpool content to sit back, 34% possession, the lowest they've had in the league this season, and in fact the lowest they've had when winning a game in the Premier League since they started counting those numbers 20 years ago.
Guys, well played. Feels, Mo, like not just a really significant day, but a really significant weekend. How big a result do you think that is?
It's incredible. It's a very hard place to come and play here. Tough team. They have an incredible manager. They dominate the game. I think they can dominate any game here. But I'm glad in the end we managed to win the game.
How did you do it, Dom? Particularly interested actually in your role, because it looked like yourself and Curtis Jones almost like both false nines or both as 10s.
No, that was the plan. We played with 2 10s. Yeah, as Mo said, yeah, they managed the game almost 90%. So, but at the end, the result is for us, and we are happy to take the 3 points home.
Even though they dominated a lot of the ball, did you kind of feel in control of it? Did you feel sort of fairly safe, like you were managing them pretty well?
Well, we were defending on our probably 30 meters from our goal. But yeah, we just gave everything. We knew that's going to happen, and yeah, it's part of the game. Sometimes you don't have always the ball, especially against City away. So yeah, but yeah, as I said, happy to take the 3 points.
So Mo, they've caused you a lot of pain over the years, and to be fair, you've caused them some as well. But what does it mean to come here and win?
It's special, to be fair, especially when you're running to the title race. It's incredible. They won like 4 in a row now. It's an incredible team. But hopefully we just keep calm, because sometimes the pressure get into us. So hopefully we just keep calm and just play our game and try to win each game.
Is that key, Dom, that you stay calm now? You heard the fans at the end singing, we're going to win the league. I can tell you that us in the media are going to get a bit giddy. You guys have got to go out and win, what, 7, 8, 9 more games. So you're the ones that have to stay cool.
I didn't hear it. I was so tired. So
you are exhausted, aren't you?
No, we have to keep going. It's gonna be a tough game home against Newcastle, and then yeah, as you said, 11 more games to go. It's never end. So we have to keep calm. We have to keep going. We have to take the games by game, and yeah. At the end, hopefully, we're going to be on the top.
Just tell us about your contribution today. I'd say you're one of the unsung heroes of this team, but a really nicely weighted flick to make the corner routine happen, and then a goal of your own as well.
No, he just said it was not the best assist. I gave it to him.
What?
The ball was not supposed to come in that area.
Oh, well, I mean...
No, I'm kidding.
No, yeah. Yeah, we practiced it yesterday, and... yeah, hopefully we can do it even more times. Finally, he could also find me. It's not happened all the time. But yeah, I'm happy to score also and give him an assist.
Yeah, he's having a little dig back there, Mo, isn't he?
He's still a kid, so I wouldn't give him back, so it's fine.
Do you know what? I've run out of questions for you, really. But you're now at 30 goals for the season, all competitions, 5th time in 8 seasons. Are you better than ever?
I don't know. It's opinion. Maybe people prefer my first season. People prefer now, but I think I prefer now because it's just winning the league, you doing your best, and helping the team, helping young players as well. It's incredible. Yeah, probably this year. Yeah.
Do you need another title? And does it feel close now?
I wouldn't say it feels close. It's just like we need another title for sure. Me and the big guys here in the team, we need another title. But yeah, we'll give it our best and we'll give it a good shot, and we'll see.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Player of the match amid some controversy and a slightly angry Szoboszlai. Mo Salah.
Again, thank you. Thank you.
But he's just a kid, and he's got plus team have taken a big step towards the Premier League title here this afternoon. It all started with a very smart set piece, and wasn't it nice to hear Szoboszlai talking about the fact they only looked at this really yesterday?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, so listen, we obviously took on board what the manager was asking, and brilliant. Listen, I love watching this because obviously the pace of the pass, but there's movement, there's blocking, the usual stuff, but he's got to get that pass 100% right. Slight deflection. City a little bit again, just off and
If it's just off, Rico Lewis is getting there, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's it. I think that's the position.
Everyone's involved there, Roy.
Could Lewis actually lunge at it? You know what I mean? When he just misses, but the pace of the pass has to be perfect, and it is perfect. The pass.
Everyone knows the jobs, whether it's Rosley, Robertson blocking, then everyone blocking in between that. It's so difficult. I mean, it was worked brilliantly well.
I suppose the question is why they don't score more set-piece goals, this Liverpool team. That was it the third or fourth that they've scored this season, the lowest in the Premier League. Is it because it's not a priority?
Listen, I think it's a priority for every team to try and score from set pieces. We've seen Arsenal, we've probably never seen anything like that before in the Premier League, where it feels like a team, every time they get a set piece, everybody in the stadium feels like it's going to be a goal, and especially when they've got, you know, Van Dijk and Canate, they probably should score more goals from that situation. But the interesting thing is, you go back a couple of years, remember the goal Man City scored at Anfield, where they played it into that near post, Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones in there and got the goal. So you're always trying to find some. But the interesting thing is, we know as players, when you've got a set piece and you've worked on something, you have to do it on the first one. So when you're the defensive team, I think I'm not criticising City here, by the way, it was brilliant from Liverpool, but I think you've always got to be that switched on. When I was a defender, about the first one is always the one when they try something, because you might not get another corner, so you have to do it on the first one.
And when we look at the blocks, we see Man City block, but I'm always amazed that teams just let themselves get blocked. They must feel going, you must smell danger, you must go, lads, there's something going on here. And you, as a defender, you have to multitask. People think, well, I've got my man here. No, you have to get your man and be ready for something like this. But as if players are going, I've just got one job to do, and you know, if someone's trying to block you,
I think it's hard, isn't it? I totally agree with what you're saying, but you're just thinking, and you back me up on this, Carl, I just don't want my man to score.
I wait to see what you said.
You're just
so
obsessed with my man cannot score.
I know, but you know when the players get in that position, Michael, you must feel you're going, listen, there's something happening here, lads.
Yeah.
But you don't know what's happening, do you? So you're not sure what to prevent.
But obviously you have to be ready. You have to have some sort of football intelligence. You see people at the near post going, and obviously you can't give Salah time by himself. That's why the set piece had to be so precise, and it was. But I still think City should have been a bit more sharper. Smell the danger, it's called.
Talk us through the second goal, Daniel, which involves some clever football from Liverpool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, firstly we see the ball from Trent here. Szoboszlai's offside. But talking about the runs in behind from Mo, these days you see him picking out the right pass at the right time. It's a devastating finish from Szoboszlai with his weaker left foot. But the timing of the run from Mo to stay onside for one, but then to have the ability to be able to say, you know what, OK, I'm going to barge the defender off the ball and do what I need to do. Szoboszlai's just limbering into a position. He's not really doing any sort of change of movement or anything like that. Hit the target, of course, to the keeper's low side. But for me, this is what Liverpool have been doing for years.
And this is what you were talking about before the game, Daniel. Maybe Szoboszlai was listening. He wanted to see from him more goals and assists, and he's got both today.
For sure. And when I look at him, the pace and power he has running in behind and pressing is top level. The key to get the next step for him is to add the goals to his game, because he gets in these positions so often, and it's either that he doesn't want to take the shot on or he's not totally focused on the action.
But he's got a good track record, hasn't he, from his previous clubs. It's not as if he doesn't know how to put the ball in the back of the net. Maybe he's still finding his feet at Liverpool a little bit from last season. He's getting a bit more confident on his ability and a little bit more confidence, maybe.
Yeah. No problem with the confidence of Mo Salah, that is for sure. And a goal and assist in the same game for the 11th time this season, which is just simply extraordinary. Jamie, it's hard to describe. Even Pat said it in the interview with him. 41 goals and assists in a single Premier League season. Look, he's only 6 points off top spot here, and he's got, as we know, another 11 games to go. He's already the only player that's gone past the 40 mark twice, and the top two on that graphic have done it in a 42-game season, and this is Mo Salah. So far, what are we in? 27 games into the season. Put this into some kind of context for us.
Well, this is going to end up being the greatest season we've ever seen from an individual. I have no doubt about that. And it's not whether he finishes above those players in terms of numbers, it's how far. And maybe sets the bar so high that in the future nobody can ever get there ever again. We are seeing something special. We know that over the last 7 or 8 years, but this is like an old-timer season, this.
That list is great, though. Look at Shearer. Andy Cole, such an underrated player. Such an underrated Thierry Henry, the great strikers.
We still class Salah as a white player.
Well, he calls himself a winger, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a white player, obviously.
I think he's a wide striker.
Yeah, of course.
He's a wide striker. Most seasons he ends up with the most shots. If you end up with the most shots in a season, you can't class yourself as an out-and-out winger. I think he is there to score goals. I think at the time, Mane and Salah were wide forwards, and Firmino was vacating the space for them to make the runs in behind. I think his role in this team is to be the goal scorer. It's not to be the creator.
And I think if you're going to be successful at any big club, you do need to end up world-class player. You can have brilliant players around you. You'd have a Cantona or Ronaldo, Rooney. You need that one player who's almost ahead of everyone else just to get you over the line and make the difference in tight games. And Salah does that week in, week out.
I think when you look at the names on there, some are goal scorers and some are sort of great players. I think there's probably a slight difference. You know, you class Alan Shearer as a great goal scorer, still a great player. Thierry Henry's almost a great player. And I think most people would say, when we talk about the Premier League, we probably always put Thierry Henry on the top. For me, Mo Salah's definitely second. And if he signs a new contract, that is going to be a fight to the finish.
What he wants now?
Thierry's a colleague of ours, isn't he? So at the moment, Thierry's still on top, but we are looking at someone who's pushing.
I thought you were going to say, show me the money, give me what he wants.
Well, I don't know what he wants. If I had it, I'd give him it.
He's on track to have the best season in terms of goals and assists, as Jamie was referring to. We can see that by looking at the minutes per goal and assists. He's ahead of that wonder season from Erling Haaland. His brilliant first season in 17-18, Luis Suarez, who you had the pleasure of partnering up front. Daniel, is he above the rest?
I think it's a tough question, man. There's some top players. I think what Mo's doing season in, season out is literally ridiculous. It's mind-blowing. He's on the list twice there. You know, for him to be doing this, and I don't even think when he came to the club, anyone ever thought he would be close to being a guy who would score 25 a season or 20 goals a season. Sure, you did.
From the Fiorentina dressing room.
Yeah, but I'm saying for you to say he's going to come to the Premier League and score 20 goals a season is like a bold statement. But what we're seeing, the consistency from what he's doing on the pitch, and furthermore, I think sometimes you see Mo, you know, he'll say, oh, yes, Studge, I don't pay attention, or he doesn't know about stats, but he'll see that 40 one day and go, you know what? I want that record. It's right.
Tracking for
I
57.
think he was special, though. Even when he was at Basel, he went to Fiorentina, he goes to Roma. Obviously, it didn't work for him at Chelsea, but when he go into this Premier League with Liverpool, I just knew, and I think the greatest compliment he can give Salah, he doesn't have to play well. Doesn't have to play well to score goals. He's just
you didn't know he'd score 20 plus goals.
Honestly, there's an interview. Go back and look at the interview, and I was like, this player is too good for Fiorentina. We shouldn't have him. He came there on loan.
He said that went down well with the club.
But I just knew just the special, his touch, his technique, how selfish he was in front of goal. He went to Juve in a Coppa Italia. He ran from 40, 50 yards past some of the best defenders in the league at the time. I just knew he was special. Maybe I'm giving
you know what,
giving a little bit too much
always
credit.
Available.
Exactly.
Always available.
Would you have him up there as, what, top two?
Whatever about top two, he's up there with some of the greatest players, definitely.
He's having a Messi and Ronaldo season, isn't he? That's that thing of scoring.
Let's be
know your ranking, Daniel,
we're talking Ballon d'Ors now. If we're not talking Ballon d'Ors with Mohamed Salah, then it's getting out of hand. We have to start putting him in that conversation now and saying, I don't even know if he's had a top 5 vote or a top 3 vote yet. I mean, he's not been on the stage to go,
Why do you think he hasn't?
I have no idea. To be totally transparent, I think when you look at maybe the history of the award, typically it goes to someone in La Liga. Obviously, Rodri.
Sixth 1 year.
Jamie came 19th.
I come 19th.
Daniel, can I ask you, with this extraordinary season he's had, he had a really good season last year as well, but it seems his game has gone to another level in terms of these numbers. What is it about? Is it about something that he is driving himself? Is it about the way that Arne Slot builds this team to get the best out of Mo Salah?
I think yes. I think he's got less defensive responsibilities. I think the way Jurgen set up was we're a machine as a team. Everyone working, I think he's got less defensive responsibilities, which then allows him to have more energy. I think when you look about the best players in the world, we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo's, Messi's and Neymar's and Mbappe, Vinny. These players aren't defending, tracking back every single action. They'll do it from time to time, but they're not defending every single action, getting back into positions. They're reserving their energy to make a difference up the other end of the pitch. And I think when we talk about those guys, I'm sure you would have forgiven Cristiano or the likes of Rooney.
No, you get back. No, you get back.
You would say.
No, he's getting a bit older now. Yeah, as the lads got older,
Yeah.
but 4 or 5 years
But
ago,
he's,
you'd be saying
how
get
old's
back.
Mo now? He's 30.
No, I'd forgive him a bit more now, and I'd always forgive a striker who's going to be doing the business at the other end.
Yep.
But when he was a bit younger, you obviously have to come back.
So on that age,
when it's-
Jamie, on that age point, you know, if his game has been tweaked by Arne Slot, so he's maximising his energies at the top end of the pitch, age becomes less relevant, doesn't it? He's 32 now, he's 33 next year. What would stop Liverpool giving him what he wants to revisit that conversation?
Listen, you go back to the numbers. I think we still don't know. Is it a length of contract? Is it a money issue? But when I go back to him having a messy season, I'll never forget when I first joined Sky and we were doing the Champions League. We were at the new camp, and we had the view of the game, and I just remember just watching him walking about the pitch, and he'd just come alive when he needed to do. And Mo Salah's probably not at that stage where he's actually walking about, but we had a stat about Trent getting dribble passed by Doku in the first half, but he's not getting the best help in the world. But the reason you're arm away with that because of the numbers going the other way, and that's what reminds me again a bit talking about Messi. So he's getting the Messi numbers in terms of a goal or an assist every game, but he's almost playing that type of role where he knows basically his body better than anybody, and he just comes alive. So I actually think Liverpool, great result. I think Liverpool played amazing today on the ball. But second half, every time they counter-attacked, it was him in behind and even playing lovely passes into people. He's just almost got that status that he knows he's the best player, not just in the team, but in the league.
And what might have helped him as well is that his contract was up. Sometimes you find a bit of motivation from that. He's thinking, obviously, I'm playing for a better deal if I'm going abroad. I know some people say it's a distraction, but I think he's used it in a real positive way. He's not been, even his interviews, and I know he's doing well, he's talking about, but contract situation can get a player down. You know, it can affect their pride or their ego, but he's used that as a bit of energy, and I think that's helped him, and it's almost motivated him a bit more.
I think his experience is now led him to this point where his motivation's there, his professionalism in the summers, the players, everybody knows, even when I was playing with him, comes back in unbelievable shape every single season. He wants to be the best. He wants to be recognised as the best in the world as well. I know from having conversations with him in the dressing room, he wants to be the best player in the Premier League. He wants to be the best player in the world. I think now this team is undoubtedly his. I think in previous years, people would say Sadio Mane, maybe he's the best player in the team. Oh, Bobby Firmino, this and that. Now it's like, it's the Mo Salah show. Like, it's a fantastic team of players. But when it comes to Liverpool going forward, if I want to take 10 shots today, I'm taking 10 shots today.
But does he need a few more league titles over the next? If he stays at Liverpool, does he still need a bit more to be? Is he still behind them other lads for winning them bigger awards, maybe?
Oh, you mean for the awards?
For the awards and his legacy, you know.
I think the fact he's probably with Egypt and he's probably not playing in the major tournament as such, or maybe got a great chance of winning. I think it's either the Champions League or the major tournament. Normally, the player who excels in that. You know, you're looking at sort of Vinny Jr., Mbappe right now, Real Madrid looking really good, going for the Champions League. Liverpool will be in that conversation, but right now he's certainly the front runner. And Roy, what you've just said there in terms of getting maybe more trophies and league titles, that could actually put him above probably Kenny Dalglish and Steven Gerrard in sort of where he ranks in terms of Liverpool legends, because I think right now he's right on their shoulders.
Just say AFCON is a major tournament because a lot of people are saying people not taking that. Say, AFCON is a major tournament, just so you don't...
No, but Egypt are not going to win the World Cup, are they?
No, but AFCON is...
who wins AFCON?
It's big, wasn't it? Remember when him and Mane was going for it in the league?
God.
I'm just saying, AFCON...
No, it's a fact. It's a fact.
Put you in your place.
It's a fact. If you win the Euros or you win the Copa America, it's deemed to be big, so the AFCON's in the same level.
Well, I hope he's got a big mantelpiece, because he might be adding the Premier League title to it. Who knows what else in terms of the team trophies this year? Maybe the Ballon d'Or as well this season. His manager certainly deserves some credit. Here is Arne Slot with Patrick Davison.
Well, Arne, Liverpool not won here in the Premier League in a decade. You've come and done it at the first attempt. Let's start with the how. How did you do it today?
By scoring a set piece. If you want to win a big game, at least what you need is a neutral set piece balance, or score one and not concede. That's what we did, and we defended. Yeah, if you come here, you have to defend. And we defended really well with so many players constantly around the ball, and that's why we could keep them away from big chances, because that they will have ball possession is clear. But you have to make sure that they can't create as much as they normally do.
Who deserves credit for the set piece? It looked, if you don't mind me saying, a little bit Bournemouth inspired. They scored one against Arsenal earlier in the season that I think you might have taken note of.
Yeah, now you tell me, I remember that one. It inspired by that. Joe, it's not me. It's we as a group of people look at how the setup is, and then in this situation, someone came up with a brilliant plan. It wasn't me, and and we knew that space could be there, and we trained it yesterday, and. Now, because of a deflection, it went in, and that's so helpful because it wasn't that we were dominating the game.
It's quite an interesting tactical matchup, particularly at the beginning. It looked like City did something different with Foden up top, maybe sacrificing control in midfielders for attacking players, and you did something different as well with kind of 2 10s. So, what was the thinking, and how did you feel that played out?
No, first half played out better for them than for us, apart from the score, of course, because we were 2-0 up, but they were dominating the game. I felt also in the first half that, not that they had that many big chances, but it felt as if they could score any moment because we weren't really comfortable. And then we could set it up at halftime a bit clearer what we wanted from the players. And that helped us, I think, a lot, because in the second half, I cannot remember them having a big chance.
So did you feel like overall that you controlled it and managed it as you wanted, or just from what you're saying there, that actually they kind of forced you back more than you wanted?
Ideally, we have the ball more than the other team. That's what we are till now, maybe every single game we've played. But City is, when it comes to ball possession, the most difficult one to play against, because they like it a lot and they have players that are so comfortable on the ball. So I told before the game, the only chance you have to win here is you defend really well. So yes, we try to play as good as we can with the ball, but if we're not on top of our game defensively, you have no chance to win here because they're too comfortable with the ball.
Okay, so that's kind of the how. Let's get to what it means. What does it mean? Because it feels, with what happened yesterday with Arsenal, like a huge weekend, like the weekend we might all look back on and say, yeah, that's where they clinched it.
Yeah, 3 days ago we had a draw at Villa and people told me we were not in a good place. And now for all of a sudden 3 days later it's exactly the opposite again. I know what we have to do to win our games. You could see it today how hard we had to work. And there are 11 games to go, and if these players are able to keep on working this hard, we have a chance. Let that be clear. But like I said, we work every single day so hard to achieve this that it's 3 months of very hard work to hopefully keep the results going as they are now.
So like you said, 11 games to go, 11 points clear. What is the key to managing it? You've done it before. You've won a title in Holland. So what's the secret?
Actually, there's not such a big secret. It's what I just said. We're 11 points clear, but Arsenal has 1 game in hand. So, what we did today, work as hard as we can and play the football in certain moments. We did really well today is also, I think, the best attack we had didn't end up in a goal. That started right with Trent and ended with Trent with an overlap. So it was a great attack, and you always have to adapt to the challenge you got. So if you play City away, it's a totally different challenge than if you play Plymouth Argyle away or Wolves at home. So a week ago, we experienced how difficult Wolves at home was. So 11 games to go, and they will all be difficult like the one today.
So it sounds like your job is, like we'd call it, keeping a lid on it. You know, media gets excited, you're going to get loads of questions about it. The fans get excited. You can't, the players can't, because you're the ones who've got to go out and get the results.
No, but it's also easier for us not to get excited because we know what we have to put in. And maybe the fans just simply look at the two goals we scored and like, wow. And they don't look at all the work rate we've done to get this result, because this result was more about defense than it was about attack. So that's why it's normal for fans, every fan base that from a team that's leading the league, they are positive. And it's up to us to understand why we are where we are. And these boys know really well, I think.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It has been a really clear and a really consistent message from Arne Slot in his first season at Anfield. Work hard, and we will have a chance. How impressed have you been with Arne Slot? His first season in the Premier League.
He's doing okay, isn't he?
He's doing all right.
To be fair, yeah, obviously he came in a bit under the radar a little bit. There was probably no big expectations at Liverpool, obviously last summer, particularly when they didn't really get anybody in player-wise. You think of the first game of the season, the first half at Ipswich, if you said, listen, you're looking at the league champions here, you would have probably been locked up. So he's done brilliant. The players have reacted well. He's got a nice way about him. He's pretty honest, straight up. And he spoke well there, and people do. You do have to remind people it is hard work. It is hard. No one hands you a league title. You've got to work hard for it. They've got some brilliant players. They've got momentum. And also for the other teams who are trying to chase them down, they're running out of games. I know people say there's a long way to go. Of course, there can be one or two twists. But the gap's wider, and there's one less game now. 11 games to go. Great position to be in. The manager has done fantastic.
What stands out for you, Daniel, about his management style?
I think just how level he is. Doesn't seem to get too high or too low. He's just always level and just says it as is. I think he's very honest. I've been told by players that he's very honest with them as well. And I think that's...
Sometimes in quite a direct way?
Yeah, I think just being honest and saying it like it is to the player. I think as a player, you respect that when a manager just keeps it real with you and says, this is how I see you, or this is what you have to improve on, and you have to take that on board as a man and say, okay, this is what the manager wants from me. But he's very clear. He doesn't seem as if he tries to, play any games or anything like that with the press or anything like that. He's just being honest, and it shows with his players. They want to work for him, and they do their best every single week for him.
I was expecting that reaction from him, because watching that game felt like a throwback to probably when we played 20 years ago, a big European game. You go away, don't really get on the ball too much, you nick it and you come away. But the way the game's played now, the top managers want their teams to almost dictate the play. Be delighted with the result, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting him to sort of say, we can do better, we can do more, and that's promising for Liverpool going forward.